Honesty is the best policy when it comes to being a dialysis patient. Honesty will keep you healthy, right? Like if you know that you're not like taking your binders, if you know that you're drinking too much fluid, if you know that you are not eating the right things, you know, honesty will keep you healthy. Being a liar on dialysis is the number one thing that will keep you in the hospital. If you're lying to the doctors, if you're lying to the nurses, if you're lying to yourself, telling yourself that you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and you know deep down in your soul that you are not taking care of yourself the way that they are suggesting that you should, it's a recipe for disaster. You will gain more flexibility, you will gain more leeway, you will gain more trust with your care team if you are honest with them. You can't sit there and cry if you know you haven't been on your shit. So you got to sit down and you got to have a real discussion with yourself about, okay, this and this is going wrong. What is it that I'm doing, or what is it I'm not doing that's causing this to happen? Because I don't want this to happen. So what can I do? How can I prevent this? If it's a medication, you got to try to use full transparency with your care team. Let them know, hey, listen, I'm taking this type of medication. It's causing this effect. I don't like it. Maybe we could explore other options. Or, hey, I don't like these treatment times. It's very challenging for me to get to the dialysis center, or it's hard for me to do my dialysis at this particular time. Is there another time? Can we entertain the idea of changing the times? Hey, listen, what types of foods should I and should I not be eating? Which ones have the highest potassium? Which ones have the highest phosphorus? Which foods should I be avoiding? Honesty and transparency as a dialysis patient is the best policy. If you get in the habit of lying to your care team, they're going to look at you as somebody that is not compliant. And that can come back to bite you in the butt if you are trying to get a transplant. Or if transplant's not an option for you to try to get the shift that you want on the dialysis unit. I've seen plenty of patients in the centers, talking to nurses and technicians that they don't do what they're supposed to do. And then they come into the center and then they're shocked when they get the results of their labs, or they're shocked when they stand on the scale, and then they got to try to play dumb. They got to try to play the role for everybody around. I don't know how this happened. I don't know how, I came in so many kilos over. I just don't understand. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but deep down inside, like, they knew they weren't. They knew the night before they shouldn't have been drinking, but they just kept drinking. They didn't stop drinking. They're eating high phosphorus foods. They're eating high potassium. And no matter how much you try to deceive your care team, your blood will always tell on you. Your blood will never lie. I can sit here and say that, oh, well, I didn't drink anything last night, even though I'm 10 kilos over on the scale. I don't, I'm not eating bananas and nuts and I'm not doing any of that stuff, but it'll show in the potassium. Now, granted, there's outliers to every situation, but typically your blood test is not going to lie. Your blood test that they do every month, your blood test is physical evidence that you are or not doing whatever it is that you say you are or not doing. You can try to lie, but you won't be able to. And I've seen patients try to do it, and it doesn't work out for them. And then what happens is when they get caught in the lie, they get angry because they know they got busted, right? But a nephrologist or a nurse, they're just going to give you a suggestion. Whether you do that suggestion is entirely up to you. They ain't going to fall on the sword for you. They're not. They're going to tell you this is what you need to do, and it's up to you to be compliant with that. And if you are a patient that is not going to comply to what they're telling you to do to keep you healthy and out of the hospital, they're just going to wash their hands of it. They're going to do the bare minimum for you in most cases. Oh, well, I keep giving this person suggestions, but they're not listening to me. So, oh well. It's on them. I'm telling them what they need to do, but they're not doing it. Remember this. As a dialysis patient, honesty is the best policy.